Listen, anytime, any place, anywhere, I'll fight you in your back garden. Like a dumb Klitschko, I'll beat you, you bum. You're a bum.
I want to unify. Is he up for the challenge? Like I said, I declare war. You know, this is not a battle, this is war because I was born in this.
Why am I sitting here like a spare dinner? While you are sitting in your mum's spare room, just tickling your bollocks.
Come see me, baby. No more hiding, no more ducking, no more dodging, no more excuses. Let's make the fight happen. Let's see who's the best. I know I'm the best. Are you up for the test?
I'm through. Hey, put somebody else up and give me an interview. What are you talking about? You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You're not shit. I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
Negative. I'm good. I beat Polly. I left with his belt and his girl.
Fucking was too fast. But it wasn't so much about it, was just that he was so fucking fast. Fast.
Amazingly fast.
Getting amazingly fast. I was like, I thought Freddie was in there fucking hitting me too. So
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up? MCR family, another daily edition of the show live on YouTube, obviously podcast from iTunes, Spotify, radio, etc. I'm Matt, the Hipster Hunter. Gonna be talking all things boxing today, and unfortunately, oh my god, it's happening again, Rob. It's happening. PTSD moment right here, okay? Flashback to 2017 and the bullshit that entire summer was because of Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder negotiations. And Anthony Joshua deciding to, shake up a hornet's nest and start up this conversation again with negotiations about AJ and Wilder, plus Canelo news and what's happening with him in terms of his next fight, and also the alleged offer to Jamal Charlo that was last year that we're going to talk about and dissect whether that's true or not, and whether or not that has any bearing on our opinion on Jamal Charlo moving forward. But a lot to get to on today's show. So much that I'm kind of forgetting how much we have to get to, and I'm looking at it right now, and it's a shit ton. So without further ado, let's get to the full panel. Rob in the UK, Robbie Hearns. Rob, how are you?
I'm good. Hey, everybody, hit that thumbs up on your way in, or while you're listening, or whenever, but just do it, or else.
Yes.
Yeah, curveball offer coming in. The World Boxing News has already spoke to Finkel and got it all twisted, but I'll mention that when we get into it. But yeah, look at the little ticker thing. I like it, Matt. That's what I'm talking about. Production. Look at that. Hit that like and subscribe. Now get rid of it so they can see my name again. There you go. Look at that. We'll see what else we can do during the show. But yeah, let's go out to Gary because we've got a whole lot to talk about.
Gary in Dallas. Gary, what's up?
Not a whole lot of action to get into. There's that one fight card, and then there's one or two other smaller cards.
We're not going into the fights this weekend on today's show.
Not.
No. We have way too much news to get through, and I know we don't have enough time to get through the fights. So fights tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow's show.
And Gregory Morales of San Antonio fights tomorrow. 122-pound, a real good-looking 22-pound prospect, 18 years old. Check that card out. It's on Ring TV and DAZN.
Be careful, Gary, because he could make it put like "fuck Texas boxers" just scrolling across the bottom.
I didn't think about that. I'm totally going to troll with that now. Thank you, Rob.
I want to get on with this. So there's a lot of good news to get into. Big news. I want to hear everyone's take on. So let's with no further ado, let's get to the news.
Let's get to the news, Gary. As you said, Anthony Joshua reveals new negotiations to fight Deontay Wilder. Is the quote from good old Sky News and Sky Sports.
That was cool, by the way that it all moved around. Then I like that as well.
You're welcome. I mean, a lot of this, I'm not going to read the entire quote because all it is that AJ says after the fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, if Deontay Wilder wins, he's going to throw out an offer for the fight to derail the third one. And look, I have very little thoughts about this because A, there's no offer happening. There's really no negotiations happening right now. It's just sort of Anthony and Joshua talking about this is what's going to happen. I am going to do this. That has a low cachet, in my opinion, in terms of like validity. Because like, look, we talk often, we're going to talk about offers that do get sent, and the validity of offers being sent is even in question. There's not even an official offer being sent or even one that's being talked about being sent here. It's just Anthony Joshua sort of threatening to disrupt Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury's trilogy plans, which, hey, credit to him. He should do that. But I'm more of the mindset, I'll cross that bridge when we get there concerning AJ Wilder, because I don't have the mental space or like the mental strength to deal with this when it's not even happening right now. But Rob, I want to get your take on it first. Thoughts on Anthony Joshua out here saying that he will send offers to Deontay Wilder if he beats Tyson Fury in February?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's just like good to hear. Like, you know, trying to make the fight again. You know, the best fight that could be made, maybe. So, yeah, it's good to hear. Does it happen? I mean, does an offer get sent? Probably. Is it accepted, taken, or whatever? Probably not. So it will then just, I guess, add to the narrative of whatever of, oh, we're sending offers, they're not interested, this and the other. I mean, like I say, Finkel spoke to World Boxing News and he said, we're not interested in any offers. We're concentrating on Tyson Fury. We've got this, that, and the other. As he should. I mean, I don't know. So at this stage, all it was after they met with Usyk's people, Joshua said, we then had our own meeting and talking about this curveball offer. And he was saying, like, we'll send it and hopefully Wilder can look at his contract with Fury and find a way out of it. I mean, as it stands, as we understand it, I mean, is the loser of the fight can trigger the like either guy can trigger it.
It's a two-way rematch clause. Is what
so I think the thought is if Wilder was to, I don't know, knock out Wilder in sort of dramatic fashion or whatever.
Wait, hold on. Wilder knock out Wilder?
It might happen.
It might. I mean,
Tyson tried it.
He did. He was close. He was very close.
But if Wilder was to knock out Fury in dramatic fashion in sort of, I don't know, like the 5th round or something, I don't know if the thought is that will Fury want to trigger that the trilogy straight away? Does that contract stay in play if Wilder goes elsewhere? I don't know. But as a lot of people tended to point out, with Bob Arum and Al Heyman piecing these contracts together, you'd probably think they're pretty tight. So I don't know. But it's look, I think since AJ's loss, he's of the mindset of let's get these big fights done and make the big money. And willing to, I don't know. And Eddie's obviously spoken of 50-50 in the recent news as well. So there's this fight can get made before the Fury fight because it doesn't matter, I guess, regardless of whatever pay-per-views it does, because 50-50 is 50-50. It's half of whatever the fight's going to generate. So it's not a case of, oh, I just done 1 million buys against Fury. I want, I want more, or, it's 50-50 split down the middle. So whatever the fight's worth, they're getting half each. So, we'll wait and see. I'm sure some cameras will be in Eddie's face soon, and we'll hear Eddie's
side of
things and what Eddie's got to say about it.
And as we know, obviously the note today, Wilder Fury 2 is having another press conference in LA, which I don't understand why, but
it's just lead up with the Super Bowl, right? I
guess. But anyways, so we're obviously going to get both of their thoughts on that probably on Saturday morning, I want to say, is when the presser is, right? So we should know relatively soon their thoughts as well concerning AJ coming in and trying to play spoiler for that trilogy. Gary, your thoughts on AJ coming in here and trying to play spoiler to a trilogy Wilder Fury 3 fight?
Well, I would rather get the AJ versus the winner. I don't know why he's negotiating with Wilder when Wilder was badly outboxed and lost, 9-10 rounds in the first fight. All traditional logic would tell us that Fury is going to win the rematch. So, I mean, it would. You know what I'm saying? It's like negotiating with Errol Spence and Ivan Redcash and saying, well, if Redcash wins, Redcash isn't going to win. That's a ridiculous sentiment.
Wait,
right?
are you comparing Deontay Wilder to Ivan Redcash?
Yeah, that's right.
Yo, Gary came on the show on one, man.
Stay off the weed.
Oh my god.
No, but it just seems. I mean, look, if you ask the boxing public, I think most people would pick Tyson Fury to win that fight and win it relatively easily. So I'm not sure, okay, what this all means. Now, if you're trying to get this fight instead of the Fury fight, it's a little late for that. And we've been through this. And we're going to see later with Al Heyman, guys, they don't really want to work outside of the PBC circle. So I just don't see this happening. It'll happen for Fury because the first fight was a success, right? But I don't see him going over and working with Eddie Hearn. I just can't see it at this time, not with these fights lined up. And then, should Wilder win, then you can have him fight Kwanaki, which is not the best option in the world, but it's a pretty good option. You can have him fight
or Helenius.
Get out, Rob. Get out, you trolling bastard.
I think would be get Ruiz a win, have Ruiz come back, look good. I think a Wilder Ruiz fight would be a huge draw. And I think either fighter could win that fight. So it just seems like a weird timing now, and AJ just kind of wants to throw his name in there again.
Oh, you don't want the fight. You're a shitty boxing fan.
Yo, Rob's trolling is on high point today, man. I'm so glad. We're in a silly mood. I feel it on today's podcast. It's gonna be a great podcast.
When Spence and Crawford do this, if you really want to make the fight will get made, right? Fury really wanted the Wilder fight. It got made immediately. When you have that big of a star, you're in control, but they don't really want the fight. Right? That was abundantly clear when they did this 2 years ago, whenever it was, 3 years ago, when Wilder and AJ did this. Neither one of them really wanted the fight, so it didn't get made.
I agree with that assessment, Gary. Yeah, you were ranting and rambling there, and I was laughing at a lot of it, so it's kind of hard to keep track of what your points were. So I just wanted to clarify what you said. And Gary, if you can you sort of tilt your camera down a little bit, please? Thank you.
Little midget.
It's funny because Gary's pretty tall, aren't you?
You're allowed to say midget? Are you allowed to say midget anymore?
You're 5'11". Yeah, I don't think you can, by the way, Rob. I think it's
you
just
can.
people.
That's wrong.
It's little people. I think.
Dwarf? What did you say?
No, dwarf is a different thing. That's dwarfism. And then you have little people.
Little people seems worse than midget.
I'm like 99.9% sure. Okay, but anyways, digressing back to Gary's point about Robbie fucking bastard. AJ Wilder, your thinking is that Wilder has enough lucrative options besides AJ that there's no reason to force that fight on his thinking or his camp's thinking. So we're not getting that fight this year. Secondly, AJ is coming in here fully expecting not to actually make this fight, right? So it's kind of it's just good PR without really any substance behind it. I think is sort of what your point is, Gary, right? Okay. Then I agree with it. I agree with a lot of what you said. And I agree with what Rob said, too. I mean, I think we're all sort of on the same wavelength here that this is just a headline. And it's AJ smartly putting himself back into the conversation amongst these two guys who have been in the headlines a lot lately because they're doing a lot of press for this big fight next month. It's just shrewd business on everyone's side to a degree. And that's why we don't get big fights. Digressing and moving on to a degree. Anthony Joshua is poised to face Kubrat Pulev after an IBF extension of the purse bid deadline. Purse bid is now set at January 31st. Gary, I know you have a lot of hot takes about extensions of purse bids. Thoughts about this one?
No, I mean, this is more understandable to me because the pot and the purse is so big. And, the other one was Luke Campbell versus Fortuna. And it just seemed like Fortuna should just agree to something before he loses everything, right? It's like know when you're in position to negotiate and understand when you're not. Javier Fortuna is in no position to negotiate.
Pulev's in no position to negotiate. What's he going to do is, besides fight AJ, fight who? Who's next in line for a vacant IBF strap there, Rob? I think you have like the rankings memorized.
I think Kalnaki is next in line.
Cool. You're going to go face Konaki? Have fun with that, Pulev.
But AJ already gave up one of his belts to take this fight, so he knows AJ. You think AJ?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
I missed that news.
No, he didn't, Gary.
He hadn't given the WBO?
No, that hasn't happened yet. None of this has happened yet, Gary.
And that, like,
he can still go fight Usyk and
please give up the IBF belt and keep the WBO. Please do that, please, because I don't want to watch this Pulev fight. You know how boring. Look, I think Pulev. I think he's a top 10 heavyweight. I do, but I don't. This fight's gonna be so boring. It's gonna make Joseph Parker versus Joshua look like a barn burner. It's gonna be so boring.
Joshua's gonna knock him out in dramatic fashion, Gary.
I hope so. Good. No, I see. You keep thinking because I troll you that I don't like AJ. I do like AJ. I think AJ is a good fighting champion. I think he's good for the sport. I like AJ.
You're just an Usyk fanboy, okay? Sit down for a second, Gary.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Second, Gary was like, wait. There's a possibility. It might be 5%, but there's a possibility that AJ gives up the IBF and fights Usyk for the WBO. And Gary got so excited. That was instantly what Gary was thinking. Rob, your thoughts on this IBF extension for Joshua Pulev?
Yeah, I mean, look, in case anybody missed it, Eddie Hearn took to Twitter today and said, all right, I'm at the airport. What's happening, Twitter? And then he just got hundreds of questions and was answering everything. He said things are sort of going well. I think looking at April, maybe even early June for the Pulev fight. He says he wants it in London. The Tottenham Hotspur football ground is looking likely. Yeah, I think I just like that Gary's happy that this is. Look, he left. Look, he's going to stay because he wants to hear what I'm going to say.
Wait.
Yeah, he's back. He's back. I thought you were going to leave when I was going to say something ago. No, Gary seems to think it's okay for Joshua and Pulev to negotiate this because there's all this money involved. Well, Campbell and Fortuna, they're trying to get the best money at their level that they can involve. So it doesn't matter.
What offer to Fortuna is the best offer he's going to get. His other option is fighting five fights out from the main event on a PBC card in Biloxi, Mississippi. That's his other option.
Gary, to use your logic for their guys like Fortuna and Campbell's placement in terms of making money and how they should just take what they're offered, because of their placement money, they're 100% going to nickel and dime in negotiation for an extra 10, 20, 30 grand.
Then figure it out. Then figure it out. They give you all. I'm not saying
and Gary, that's what the purse bid extension is for, is to give them time to figure it out. Because every time there's a contract or term sheet that's sent back, all the lawyers have to read it.
Let me ask you a question, Matt. If I called you up and gave you a dream job, and I put $1 million next to it, and I said you have till Tuesday to work things out, would you call me up Monday night and say, hey, can we extend this to Wednesday or Thursday? Or would you get it done?
I don't think it is.
It depends on your answer, no? If you say no, take it now or fuck off.
Let's negotiate this. We can always talk about things.
Gary, in my mindset, since you are offering me the job, you want me. I'm 100%
you
negotiate
me on that.
You're the one that came to me and you wanted to offer me the dream job. Absolutely, Gary.
The way you said that, Matt, was hilarious.
Monday night. And okay, can we extend your deadline to Thursday? You're going to do that?
I didn't hear the first part, Gary. I apologize.
If I offer you $1 million for your dream job, I don't know, whatever that is, right?
Porn.
You're call me up Monday night and say, I can't figure this out. Can we extend this till Thursday? What if I say no? Now you're walking away from your
Then he's got a decision to make, right? Then he's got a decision to make.
Exactly. They have a decision to make. But I said, yeah, sure. Have the extension.
The way Matt said,
we're in no rush to make you guys make the fight. No, you guys get an extra week or two. Who cares?
You guys have the cojones I don't have. I wouldn't push too hard. That's all. All right. I'm going to try to get the best deal I can, but I ain't going to push that hard. I'm not going to.
Like, I remember when, for Name Redacted, right, when we got the offer from Chivas to do the live podcast, we 100% came in and we're like, we want X, Y, and Z. And we only got X. And then we came back and said, no, we want XY. And they said, okay. You know, like that's just how negotiation works.
I understand, but you didn't.
Especially if you get approached, because then you are the one that has value and then in the leverage in the negotiation room. Because obviously they have desire in you as whatever you are.
You. Me.
And you want me, Gary. You want me. Digressing though.
I like the way Matt said, you want me. It's like, you need me on that wall.
Yes.
You want me on that wall. Oh, shout out. Great movie.
Roll the dice more than I am, I suppose. And I've been through Gamblers Anonymous twice. So good for you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying you better be prepared to lose everything, right?
Just so you can sleep well at night, Gary. Eddie Hearn replied today to someone asking about Fortuna Campbell, and he said contracts are being finalized. And then further in another, when he asked who out of the Matchroom stable will be world champion first or whatever coming in this year, Matt's gonna love this. He said Lawrence Okoli and Luke Campbell all before April. So there you go. The fight's looking like it's made with Campbell Fortuna. Just a matter of finalizing the contracts, and it's going to be done before April. The fight.
Good. Then.
So you can put your head on your pillow tonight and just get rid of this negative perspid.
Yo, it's not the same, obviously, but it's on the same spectrum. Like Rob crying over Anthony Corolla retiring, and Gary getting like vein popping angry over the idea of a perspid extension for Campbell Fortuna. It's on the same spectrum of craziness. Not saying it's the same thing, but it's on the same spectrum, guys.
Look, this actual myth of me physically crying that Corolla retired.
It's not a myth.
It needs dispelling.
That's fact, Rob. Don't deny it. Okay.
All right.
Let's get to the next news topic of the day. Chris Mannix was first to report representatives of Canelo Alvarez and Ryota Murata are engaged in serious talks to stage Canelo Murata fight in Japan in the spring, a la May. Sources tell Sports Illustrated. Murata holds a secondary middleweight title, blah, blah. I think Kopp came out, I think like 5 minutes before his show started and sort of reiterated this as well.
Yeah.
Added something that, shout out to the homies at Asian Boxing. Great outlet to follow, guys. If you don't follow Asian Boxing on Twitter, or just that's a website you don't go to often for boxing, you need to. Just telling you right now.
Nice guy.
Oh, great guys. The entire team over there is fantastic. They confirmed, well, I kind of knew that this would be a Sunday in Japan. Let's say card starts at 10 a.m., main event at 2 p.m. sort of thing. And then it'd be prime time in the U.S. to accommodate the U.S. DAZN subscribers, because Murata cannot be on DAZN. He has a Fuji TV deal, so therefore this fight in Japan, where DAZN has a massive following and is a massive market leader, can't get access to this fight. So because of that, they're going to try to accommodate more of the U.S. subscribers, is the thought from Coppinger and others that have been reporting this. Guys, thoughts on Canelo Murata? I know we're going to get to the whole Canelo Charlo offer that was last year. I know Gary's really wants to talk about that one, but this is what's happening next. I feel like it has more value. So, guys, thoughts on Canelo Alvarez versus Ryota Murata in May in Japan? I don't know who wants to jump on that one first. Gary?
Gary, you can.
Go ahead, Rob. I want to hear what you have to say first. Go ahead.
So
polite.
I guess DAZN on a low budget scale are going to get Canelo Triple G, because I've always said Murata is like the poor man's Triple G. Yeah, look, it's going to, I guess, do insane numbers over there.
Quick take. Murata's a bigger star than Triple G, without a doubt.
Yeah, but I just mean fighting.
Just want to piss off the Triple G fans.
Oh,
back to you, Rob.
You don't know what numbers Triple G does in Kazakhstan.
It's not 20 million, 30 million people.
I don't even know if they have that population.
I'd imagine just on pure numbers. Although I don't know how big Kazakhstan's a fairly large country, isn't it?
I don't know.
Is it?
I think
in a minute.
One of us could easily just Google the population of Kazakhstan. We all are in front of our computers, assuming.
And then you can put it up on the pop-up scroll thing, Matt.
Give me a second.
The population of Kazakhstan.
Matthew D'Souza is asking what weight is Canelo versus Murata. There has been some discussion about it being at 168, so it's unknown at this time what weight this fight would be at.
As of 2017, it was at 18.4 million. So
that's a lot less than Japan, which has a population of like what 90 million.
All of them watch.
Let's see who's. I say 100. Matt says
100% viewership. Then it's great, right? The whole country is behind it.
Now, Rob, do Japan. Look that population up.
You know this already.
I'm gonna guess 80 something. 88.7 million.
I said over 100. It's 126.8.
Damn it. Digressing though. Guys, thought like, do we want this fight?
He's only getting 20 million people watching. Is he a star? Is he really?
Yeah, yes. I don't care.
Out of 126.
That's a huge percentage of the population.
Nah, that's poor.
Rob, trolling today.
Anyway, but yeah, it's all right. I mean, I initially raised it. I think I just had like Inoue Donaire in my head and was like, well, this was like 3 a.m. in the fucking morning. I remember Matt done the graveyard shift live fight chat.
That'd be prime time in Japan.
Yeah, and I was like, this is ridiculous. And then the Asian boxing come out, and I was like, well, that's cool then. Then I've got no problem with it, really. Apart from why Murata? You want to? What is it? Bucket list stuff? You want to fight in Japan? Whoop-de-doo.
Well, let me ask the question, and I want you to answer, Rob, and then I want Gary to answer it. Would you rather see like Billy Joe Saunders, Canelo Smith, Andrade, Charlo than Murata?
Yeah.
Yes. Gary?
Yeah. From an entertainment standpoint.
What the pause was that?
Yeah, you can't pause on that question.
From an entertainment standpoint, I'd rather see Murata than Billy Joe Saunders. Now, I think Billy Joe Saunders has a chance to be competitive in the fight. I don't know that he can win, but he can be more competitive. But Murata fight is going to be a fun fight. Canelo's going to get hit in that fight. And I think he eventually knocks him out.
Like he hit Rob Brandt in that fight, yeah?
I can't. Gary, you're because the next topic, you're going to rant about how Canelo Charlo is the best fight that needs to happen. You better be in here saying that, no, Murata does not deserve a Canelo fight. There's 5, 6, 7, 8 guys that deserve a Canelo fight more than Murata.
Okay, fine.
You cut out.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Murata hasn't really earned it, although, he really hasn't earned it. He hasn't. But, like, it's still a fun fight. Like, he's still competitive in the fight. I think Murata's good. Like, he destroyed Rob Brandt. And nobody's pushing that level of control. I understand that. But, like, you guys talk about Murata like he's some C-level cab driver. Murata's really good. Like, offensively, that guy's
No, he's not.
No. Hold on. Gary, first off,
isn't really good.
First off, Gary, can you please refresh your page because you're cutting in and out a little bit and you're making good points. And I want people to hear you. Here's the thing. Murata is good. He's a top 7 middleweight. No, he is. He's a top 7, 6 middleweight. He is, Rob. But here's the thing. He's still only a top 6 or 7 middleweight. Let me go back to Gary. Get him on the screen. Gary, your point that Murata is good, he's entertaining, that he provides some value in terms of just pure violence is true. But he's still a 7th ranked middleweight in the world. At best. Maybe 6. Like guys like Derevchenko are more deserving of a fight with Canelo.
Where is he ranked at 168?
Let's be honest here. If you're talking about legacy, all the guys are mentioned. Canelo Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, Charlo, Triple G, Better Beef at 175. Those are all way more legacy-defining fights than Ryota Murata in Japan. That's a check mark for filling out the Tokyo Dome and doing like 80,000 plus there. That's all you want to do in Tokyo, which is cool. I get it. But that's not a better fight than 8 other fights that could happen in May.
It's not better in the sense that he's more deserving than those guys you just named. I don't want to see Canelo fight the guys at 175. I mean, go fight the guys at your own natural weight. You did it. You pulled it off. Now go back down to your more natural weights, right? Like you beat Kovalev. Cool. Awesome. Go fight the guys at 60 and 68 who are more your size.
Cool. That's still 6 guys that we're talking about that deserve.
Okay. So, fine. Those other names, Billy Joe Saunders, he's got to win over David Lemieux and Willie Nelson. Who else has he really beaten that makes his resume so much better than
Andy Lee, Chris Eubank Jr.?
Chris Eubank Jr., though? I mean, that's just a name because his dad was full-time.
Look, it doesn't matter. Murata's beat Rob Brandt after he lost to him. Like, I don't, like, sorry. Like, no, there's no way you can spin it that Billy Joe Saunders has a worse resume.
No, he does. I'm just saying,
Murata.
I was a Billy Joe Sanders fan for a long time. I was singing his praise after the Monroe fight and the Chris Eubank fight, and we found out Chris Eubank was a bust. But like, his resume is not all that great. Like,
it's light years better than fucking Murata's.
Yeah, it probably because he's got, like I said, he's beat Spike Sullivan years ago. He beat Eubank years ago. He's got Andy Lee. He beat years ago. He's got names on his resume. You're right. It's not. Look, Sanders' resume isn't a terrific resume, but it is pretty good when you go back and look at the names on it. You're right. Murata's resume.
I mean, if we're talking about pure resumes, Gary, he has a better resume than all of the Canelo opponents we're talking about, except for maybe Triple G. And even then, I would maybe argue Saunders has a partially better resume than Triple fucking G. You can make that argument. Like Callum Smith, I think has a better resume than Callum Smith. We're going to talk Jamal Charlo, better resume than Jamal Charlo. They're talking about Andrade. Come on, like it's not even a question. Like, and look, I'm not a Billy Joe fan like you. I think the fight's a less entertaining fight, whatever that fucking means. But it doesn't matter. We live in boxing. We live in sports. Some sporting events are entertaining. Some aren't. Some are boring. Some are for the purist. And a Canelo Billy Joe Saunders fight is for the purist. But it's still the better fight. Light years, exponentially better than Rayola Murata.
Sure, but it's like asking who would you rather have seen in the Super Bowl, the Chiefs or the Titans? Well, obviously I'd rather see the Chiefs because it's going to be a more entertaining game than watching one guy run the ball up the middle 15, 20, 25 times a game, right? Like
I don't care. I don't care. I want the best fights. Okay, I don't want some promoter talking point about how this fight's super entertaining. Fans are gonna love it. Bullshit. Fuck out of here. Okay, Canelo knocking out James Kirkland's cool, but it's fucking knocking out James Kirkland. Who gives a fuck? Go fight the real guy.
Who's on the comeback?
Taking those black pills, man. You know how it is.
Murata's a better version of James Kirkland, so it's kind of like look, Canelo.
It's a bullshit tune-up. And Murata, to his credit, is still a top 7 guy. That means there's 6 other motherfuckers that deserve the shot above you. Right? That's the logic I have. Let alone 168, which throwing David Benavidez, Caleb Plant. We're talking about fights that are better, that have more meritocracy to it. Those are better fights for Canelo.
Yeah, but those absolutely. But those fights were mentioned. If you could give me any opponent, I would say either Benavidez or Caleb Plant, but those fights really haven't been discussed. You know what I'm saying? If they were, I would say go make those fights. Go make a Benavidez fight. Go make a Caleb Plant fight because those are wars. I love those fights.
Well, you know what?
But
discuss it, Gary. You're saying like there's no discussion. Then start the discussion.
Caleb Plant versus Canelo needs to happen. That fight needs to happen. End of next year, the latest. And within Canelo's next 4 fights, that fight better happen.
I agree completely. And I'll tell you this, Canelo de Benavidez fight would be entertaining, like you said, would be an all-violent, all-action fight, and actually have merit, actually have legacy defining matter around it. It would just be an important fight. This is a big fight in Japan. And Murata is a great gatekeeper to the stars at middleweight. But that's kind of what he is. You know? And that's fine. And it's a money fight for Canelo. Why is there echo? Is it someone playing YouTube? No. It's obviously a money fight for Canelo. It's a way to offset costs for the zone, as Rob alluded to, because Fuji TV would come in, and obviously because they would have the rights in Japan, they would pay the zone to have rights to this fight because this is a Canelo fight, and therefore it would offset a lot of the costs for a Canelo fight. Vice versa, it being in Las Vegas against Triple G, and the zone really has to, put up the full price of that fight. I get it, but that doesn't excuse better fights not happening. You know, and I'm not assigning blame to anyone here. I'm not assigning blame to Canelo. I don't care to assign blame right now. I'm just saying there are better fights on the table. Let's start having those topics of conversation.
Of those three names, Murata, I guess you guys are throwing him off. Caleb Smith, Billy Joe Saunders. Which one would you most prefer to see? Caleb Smith?
Billy Joe.
Okay.
Rob?
Well, look, if Canelo does this at 160 and takes the regular bout from Murata, he can then, in a melting pot, forge them into one, and we are one regular bout less than we were. And, not all heroes wear capes.
Just wait till
our heroes wear gloves.
Just wait till Derevchenko versus Terriano Johnson's made for that vacant regular belt.
No, man, Derevchenko, he's mandatory for Charlo, right? So
yeah, we're going to talk about that. Yeah, but I mean, come on, it's the WBA.
This is his third mandatory shot in 18. How does he keep doing this? Like, who does he have pictures of?
I'm shot. Ludabella, that's as far as guys. I mean,
one big sanctioning body party.
When you have a Hall of Fame promoter, Gary, like Ludabella, it helps.
The Hall of Fame
if
is
didn't have the chin of God. He would have been knocked the fuck out. Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's just not what I expected. I know there was talk of it. I thought maybe it was a bit further down the line, this Murata thing. I mean, you say he's a top 7 middleweight, but is he a top anything super middleweight? Because that's where it's going to be, right? It'll probably be at that, won't it?
Dom, and then Dom's a super middleweight.
Stop. The fight he had fought at super middleweight, but his entire career was at middleweight.
Yeah, Callum Smith fired him at super middleweight.
Who did he just beat the end of last year?
Who?
Murata. He fought on ESPN.
Rob Brown.
No.
Oh, no, just now.
It was a New Year's Eve card.
It was the one that was going to fight, the one that avoided Andrade.
Stephen Butler.
Stephen Butler.
The Canadian guy.
Yeah, he didn't want to fight Andrade. He wanted to fight. He didn't want an actual title shot. He wanted the
money,
a regular title shot.
Just, like thinking like for the money involved, and I think it would be good for boxing to grow, like put it in Japan and have a huge event there. And I don't think Murata is like a bad opponent, so I don't think it's that bad. I think it's a more entertaining fight than watching Canelo fight Billy Joe for 12 rounds.
Look, Japanese boxing is fine. If Canelo fights there this year or he doesn't, Japanese boxing is the same, probably. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, and even this is not true, but like Eddie's saying, like, look, Saudi Arabia doesn't have boxing, so we're going to open up a whole new market. A whole new generation is going to happen, which is bullshit. But like, that argument doesn't fly here either. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be a big moment. It'd be a big moment for the year for probably Japanese sports, but you know, I don't know what the long-lasting effects of a Canelo one-off in Japan is against a big star there. You know, like if Murata was Inoue, where he had like, let's say he had belts at 147, 154, and now at 160, right? You know, you pound for pound fighter, right? Like, imagine that world. Then it's an entirely different conversation. But Murata's not that guy. You know, he's a top 10 perennial guy, which is fine. And this is an okay fight, I guess, but it's just an okay fight. It can never be anything above that because of Murata's stance and where he places in the division. Anyone else has any other thoughts about Canelo Murata? No. Then let's get to the topic I know. The Canelo topic I know Gary really wants to talk about. And what presser was this? Like, who was this for? Jason Quigley?
I guess it was Quigley. I don't know.
No, it was Ryan Garcia media workout.
Yeah, the February 14th Valentine's Day card.
That's right. I probably should have been looking at my emails. I probably could have seen something about that. Sorry, man. My bad. Dude, ever since like PBC's been sending me emails now, they send me way too many emails.
Oh God, come on!
It's all just Swanson Communications. Like, it's just all of it. I'm like, oh my God. But digressing.
Come on.
For what?
100 million, no, 100K by May.
Oh yeah, 100K. Yeah. Okay. God, that bullshit. Marcos Villegas is who we're gonna get this this clip from, but there's a lot of different interviews out there from different channels because there's a big presser, and Oscar was very vocal about this for some reason. But this is Oscar De La Hoya talking to Marcos Villegas over at Fight Hub, right? It's Fight Hub, SB Nation, saying if you're lazy, here's a clip of Oscar saying Charlo was offered a Canelo fight, but it was turned down. Well, thank you, Marcus, because I am lazy. I'm not going to watch that video. So let's get to what Oscar has to say.
If you want to be in a fight, demand these fights. Tell your promoter you want these fights, and we'll make them happen.
Fans listening to that would bring up the case of Charlo, that they've demanded to fight Canelo and the fight hasn't happened.
No,
sorry, guys.
We had an amazing offer, a very lucrative offer for Charlo, and he turned it down. Well, Charlo didn't turn it down, but his agent or whoever's behind PBC, I don't know. I'm not gonna say the offer, but
it was for a Canelo fight, and for May of this year,
not of this year, last year, and they just didn't happen. So that's the sad part about this.
So Oscar saying that there was an offer for last year for Charlo that was very lucrative that Al Heyman, who's alluding to, turned down. I'm going to give my brief thoughts about this, then I want you guys to talk because I fully don't care about this. One, Oscar, this would have been nice to come out and talk about when this thing was happening, because then that would actually probably force the fight to happen instead of a year later when you're not negotiating with Charlo anymore. You're negotiating with 3 other fighters, and you just want to bring up his name for whatever reason. Secondly, obviously, if Charlo had a massive lucrative offer for a one-off with Canelo, he should have took it. If he didn't, clear mishap on his part. Third, I kind of don't believe that offer was really sent, though, because it's Oscar, and he seemed like in a really good mood at this presser. And I'd rather see some proof of a term sheet sent, an offer sent. I want some proof now. And, we're going to talk about, the whole Andrew Reese situation, which has a lot of fanboys upset. And I agree with some of the sentiments. Like, look, if you're sending an offer, shouldn't be via IG DMs. It should be an official fucking offer. And if you send one, send some proof to plenty of the media out there that you send information to. Oscar, Bob, Heyman, whoever. Because you all have your own media that you put out information to so they can leak it. I get it. But come on, man. Like, there's a way to force fights, and there's a way to just sound like you're just talking bullshit. And this kind of smells more like bullshit to me than not. But who knows? Because it was a year ago, there's no proof, and it's just Oscar talking. Guys, thoughts?
I got a few thoughts on this. Like, if it was anyone else other than Oscar, it would be a lot more credible, right?
If it was Eddie, if it was Bob, and they're talking about a year ago in negotiation that we never heard about, I'm questioning it. I'm questioning for all the promoters, Kel Sutherland especially. But like, I'm questioning from everyone. Rob, you know you want to laugh at that. Come on.
The thing is, so half of me is questioning it. The other half is, he did mention the Charlo's name as possible opponents for Maguia's next opponent, which means like he does want to work with the Charlos, to me at least, right? Because he didn't even name Golden Boy guys or even the Zone guys. He named the Charlos in Texas, which I think he wants to do. I think he likes San Antonio. He's fought in San Antonio. He's seen big things in San Antonio. I think he wants to make Munguia versus the Charlos, one of them, preferably the greater Charlo. And I think he wants to do that. Mm-hmm. I think he wants to make Charlo versus Canelo. I do. Was that offer made? I don't know. You're asking someone who doesn't seem to be in his right mind, right? If this offer was sent, I don't know, but like I can make a good argument that it was, and I can make a good argument that it wasn't. If it was sent, how do you not even entertain this if you're Charlo? This is This is the jackpot. The Canelo fight is like it's like the Floyd Mayweather fight. Like this is the only fight that really matters, right? This is 10 times, I don't know, 10 times, but 3, 4, 5 times any other person I could get. And it fast. If I win this fight, I'm America's biggest star. I just beat Canelo in front of all those eyes. Like you make concessions to get that fight, like Floyd did with Oscar. Whatever you want, I'm going to beat Oscar. And I'm going to be the star. Like I don't know how you turn that down. Just no, we don't want it. When you're fighting Sebastian Highlands of the world and Brandon Cannon Adams and those type guys, it just that doesn't make much sense to me. Like just to turn it down, you don't hear about any talks, any negotiations, any counteroffers, nothing. Does that seem reasonable to y'all? That seems ridiculous to me.
It all seems odd. But Rob, thoughts?
Yeah, I question how lucrative it was, but I think one was sent. But again, yeah, you can't tell me he declined it because he was going to get more from fighting Brandon Adams and people like that. So to me, if an offer was sent, you take that offer to fight Canelo, right?
Or negotiate it. You don't have to
negotiate it or
something.
just say or accept the fact that kind of in history you take what's perceived to probably be less than what you originally thought you would get from a fight like that. But if you beat the guy, you're then the guy. You've then taken the bouts. You getting a rematch. You're getting more money. You're the champion. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I can't sit here and say he's a liar. It's not even true, because if Eddie said it, I'd be saying Eddie sent an offer of this, that, and the other. So I'll be rolling with it. So I know maybe there's different how can you say, like social habits are probably different between Eddie and Oscar. If that's a politically correct way of saying the obvious, then yeah, maybe that's true. But I don't know. I think there's something in it. It's just how lucrative was it, or I don't know. But yeah, whatever. He's turning down a big offer apparently for an Andrade fight. He's turned down a Canelo fight, if that's all true.
We're gonna talk about Andrade. Don't worry, we're gonna get to that.
Okay. But
speaking of offers,
okay. So yeah, I don't know. H-Town stand up.
I will say this. I think there's a lot to the idea that promoters know when to say things and what to say to cause reactions from fan bases, and they also know that most of the time they kind of don't get the clap back in media. I would say, like, often I would say in these scenarios when promoters out there say stupid shit, fighters and other promoters kind of just go about their business most of the time. You do get some back and forth occasionally, you know, like the Eddie and the Bobs of the world, but not often, not all the time. And I could see the Charlos just passing this one up and saying, no, we don't need to respond to it. But who knows? I mean, it's awesome.
That's instant guilt then.
I mean, it is to a degree. I don't know. I mean, it's Oscar. I don't trust Oscar. A lot of promoters I don't trust, but I don't trust him especially. He lowballed his prize prospect, for fuck's sake, man. He went out there and dragged his prize prospect through the mud and the gutter just for some PR or for whatever ego trip that he was on that day.
I want to just put this out there. Do you think this is
whatever else he was on that day
by Oscar to throw this out there? Because he did mention his name as an opponent from Munguia. That to have Charlo clap back, which he will, saying, I'll take that fight. And then Oscar says, okay, first you take the Munguia fight. If you win that, then you fight Canelo. And he kind of gets it for 2 fights in that way.
I hate that. And I know Charlo's not going to accept that shit. Look, if you're Charlo, you're thinking, look, I was a unified champion at 154, something that Munguia never was. I moved up here. I collected a belt for whatever circumstances. I have a belt now. Okay, at 160. I've been fighting at 160 for a couple years now. No, I'm not taking your side offering, you know, your side salad before the main course. I want the fucking steak. and for Canelo, obvious pun there. I want that fucking beef.
Do you think Oscar wants that fight next? Do you think that's the fight he wants for Cinco de Mayo? Charlo versus?
No.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get Murata in Japan.
We need to get over this whole any of PBC's major assets going over to help the zone, unless it's a major. You've got to question your advisor if he's not advising you to go and take the multi-million like Canelo golden ticket or whatever. But none of these perceived assets are going over to help the zone.
No, they want a one-off for the big money if they can get it. And if you're not offering that, then they're not really going to think about it. Because I think for a lot of these guys on the PBC side, they like having autonomy. They like having some independence from whatever that may be. Most of these big fighters are now their own promoters. And I can understand why in their minds they're thinking, I value this independence. I might take the short money right now instead of having a 3 or 5 fight deal with DAZN, but I have independence here and I value that. And as somebody that is a content creator that went independent, I value that too, and I respect that to a degree. And I also think that DAZN and Matchroom and Golden Boy have also adjusted accordingly. They understand what Rob just said. There's a reason, like we're going to get to right now, that Eddie Hearns sending just a 1-fight offer to Charlo for an Andrade fight. There's a reason why he is doing that, because he understands you can't send a multi-fight deal to these PBC guys because they don't want to be tied up to a network or promoter in any way. And I get that. I think he understands that to a degree. And he says, quote, I've made Charlo an offer to fight Andrade 2 to 3 times as much as he's ever made. Can't get a reply. You got this guy who works for PBC, Tim Smith, going, quote, I don't know who he's making offers to, end quote. I've got it on my phone talking to him on Instagram, end quote, from Eddie Hearn. And like I said earlier, I don't value Instagram conversations when it comes to business. Fucking emails, man. Like, I might be a 24-year-old millennial, but even I understand, like, if it's business and it's like serious business, you email, motherfucker. Like, this is common sense. But this should be something that they reply back with to some degree. Speaking of Tim Smith, Charlo, and PBC, they can't just scoff at this like they do, and they continue to do. That's upsetting as well, because it's a unification. And right now, who else are you going to fight? Charlo? Like, Canelo is not being negotiated with you. Triple G is not negotiating with you. Like, there's one other belt you can fight for, and that's the WBO belt. Go fight Andrade. You have history. You have beef. Gary just dropped his mic. Thank God he was muted. Holy shit, that would have been loud as hell. But I think if Charlo and Tim Smith or whoever came out and said, look, we've heard the offer from Eddie Hearn via Instagram, email us. Email us the contract, and we'll get back to you. That's an easy reply that still does a little bit of a deflection, but actually is a way to get towards the fight still. And doesn't just scoff at it, put your nose up at it, and act like it doesn't matter. No, it matters, Charlo. It's slim pickings right now for a lot of you middleweights. So take the big fight. And if you can't take the Canelo fight for whatever reason, take the Andrade fight. And go take that one off and go steal DAZN's money and come back to PBC. It's easy.
Just like Ramirez did with Hooker, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No shots at you, Gary. I'm just saying.
A lot of shots at Gary.
No, it wasn't. I realized
Regis Prograis is going to beat up Maurice Hooker too, Gary. Respect.
No, Hooker said he's got his number. He reckons he's
anyways,
easy work.
Digressing. Back to Charlo Andrade 2 or 3 times. The whole Tim Smith, Eddie Hearn dynamic. Guys, thoughts on this? I don't know who wants to jump in here.
I know you've got this issue with the Instagram stuff, but I got no problem with like Eddie reaching out and sort of I don't know, putting the feelers out, trying to get hold of these fighters, and
well, that's not what it sounds like. I mean, if you're offering a number of value, that's serious business. That's not, hey, you want to do some business, Charlo? That's a feeler, right? But
what if he said, talk to me, tell me a number, and Eddie was sort of just said a number in there, and then like you said, then it's like, right, get it down officially, and we'll have a look at it.
Eddie, you have Al Heyman's email, you have Tim Smith's email, you have all these people's emails. Send the email. You had the same issue with Deontay Wilder and the whole him just sending an email and saying, "Here's 50 million," right? Like, remember
and
that?
Eddie said send a term sheet or whatever, right?
Exactly, right. Eddie's whole crux of that issue was it wasn't official negotiating, and this is not official negotiating. If it's a IGDM, but hey, I'll give you $7 million to fight. I'll give you the Mike Garcia contract to come fight Andrade. And come on, email. You have everyone's email, Eddie.
Yeah, all I'm saying is Eddie's saying he's not hearing back. He's not getting, well, send us this. Like Eddie said, all right, I know you're saying he said Wilder, it's just an email from Wilder. And then he said, but let's negotiate. And Finkel said, no, you've got 24 hours to.
Look, I'm not getting back into that. I'm not getting back.
You brought it up, so.
But I brought it up in the idea that his crux was it wasn't official negotiating business. It wasn't official conduct. IGDMs are not multi-million-dollar contracts. That's not how you make those. Okay.
I think you're missing my point, but it's okay.
What is your point? Maybe I don't understand.
Initially reaching out and trying to get the attention of these fighters to make these fights. I'm sure if Charlo said, I'm interested, then official channels would open. That's all I'm saying.
And that's fantastic. But maybe if you just send the official offer through the official channels first, we don't go through this whole fucking process.
He sent it to his promoter. Lions Only Promotions.
He sent it to Charlo via an IGDM.
Yeah. He's talking to his own promoter.
Rob, come on, man. Come on. You got to be a little bit objective here.
Okay. I am being objective.
And look, I'm not assigning any blame unilaterally at all. I'm just stating, okay, Eddie, if you're sending an offer, you have been one on record talking about sending it through official channels. IGDMs are not official channels. Now, table that. You want to talk about Charlo not responding? Absolutely. I understand that criticism. But that's a separate issue. Because if Eddie came out and said, look, I've sent an email to Al Heyman, I've sent an email to Lions Only Promotions and their official LLC, I've sent all the official channels, and they're not replying to me. Then guess what? Eddie Hearn has all the ammunition in the world to go after PBC. But doing the exact same thing he once criticized is the wrong footing to start negotiating. I don't know how you can argue that or argue against that. Because I agree with you on the fact that if Charlo responded, there would be an email sent. I agree with you. But that is a false start to the negotiation already. If he just sent an official email, he would be on the right side immediately. Do you understand my point?
Yeah, I get you, but I don't know why you're getting mad at. I'm not being not objective. I'm just saying in regards to Eddie saying about an email coming from Wilder, he then asked for official, like, let's see this, that, and the other, and that wasn't forthcoming. That's all I'm saying.
I understand that, but that's also not what I'm fully talking about here.
All right.
Gary.
Matt's right. Like if it was a real offer would be sent to his email with his managers and handlers CC'd on it so that everyone gets this and there's no confusion. When Matt sent me the offer, and it was big, it was about what Charlo got, in that ballpark. He sent it to me. He didn't send it in a group text. He didn't send it on IG. He sent it to me. And like I said before, I wanted the offer, so I didn't push back and I accepted his terms. But again, those guys, Matt and Rob, are apparently much bigger gunslingers and gamblers than I am. So, no, an IG offer, like Charlo could have said, yeah, let's get the paperwork rolling or something along those lines. But I mean, if there was nothing sent to Charlo in an official capacity to him, in his email with his handlers knowing, then it's not an offer. It's a suggestion. It's a feeler. It's baiting. It's not. That's not a real offer. And look, Charlo should have called him out. If I was Charlo, I would say let's make the fight. Because you're Charlo. You're $7 million. If that's the Mikey offer, $7 million. What do you think? What do you think he got for Hogan? 1.5?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe, right? Like I was always saying that high because I don't understand the inflated purses anymore. 2 years ago, he would have got $500,000 for that fight, but I don't know what the purses are anymore. So I mean, this is 5 times that. Yeah, let's get that going. Let's do that deal. And it's a legacy fight. It's a unification fight. It's a fight that puts you in the position to fight for Canelo or make you the star, and you get to pick your opponents moving forward. Like, Charlo should have went further, but I don't think I'm with Matt in the sense that that's not an IG DM is not a real offer.
Jack Willits in the chat, formerly known as Jay Willits, knows the name change. I like it. Going the full name, Jack. But if Charlo would have said yes, would you still be criticizing? Yes. I think it would take longer to negotiate. You're adding an unnecessary step into the negotiation process by an IGDM. If your first step in the negotiation process is sending an email, like Gary said, to the fighter with his managers and promoters all CC'd, then you immediately start on the right footing. Okay? Going through this route is an unnecessary route. Okay? And it's a route that is often used by promoters, Eddie, Oscar, Bob Arum, name them. Okay? It's often used to start a narrative, to create a narrative, to create a talking point via the media, via fans. And it often works. And I get it. It's a smart negotiation tactic. It adds leverage immediately to your side. Because you're going, look, I've sent out a text to this guy, to this trainer, to this manager, IGDM, whatever it is, and like we kind of discussed the fight, and they don't want it. They're not hitting me back. It immediately sets the tone for them to be defensive, whoever they are, whoever you're trying to negotiate with. And that's just smart tactics. I get it, but I understand what that is. And that's what Eddie's trying to do here. Trying to leverage negotiating just slightly in his camp's favor. And I think PBC and Charlo are doing a bad job of countering that tactic. Because their tactic is, like I said earlier, to scoff at it, to turn their nose up at it. And that's a real self-righteous way to go about it. And for fans and PR perspective, being self-righteous never works. Trust me, as somebody that is a self-righteous prick, you get a lot more hate than fans for it. You just do. Rob, you love me.
I just think there's no issue with the Instagram thing. It's just like, just find out if you're wasting your time like making an official offer. I don't know what goes into sending an official offer, what an official offer looks like. Is it any different?
Official offer would be a term sheet sent to manager, promoter, and fighter via email.
Right. So look, Charlo, want to make the Andre fight? I'm prepared to send you this. Interested? Or do you just send it and don't hear anything back? What's he lost here? Nothing.
Look, it's not about losing, Rob.
I mean, as in like time, energy, space.
It's not a zero sum. It's not a binary issue here. It's not about winning or losing here. I'm just stating that when promoters do this type of public negotiation, it is purely that. It's public negotiation. If it was serious, there'd be an email. And it would have definitely Al Heyman copied on it and a DM, a social media DM. And promoters often do that. They often say, oh, I sent a text to this person. Or, I reached out here, sent feelers out here. Sorry, I cut you off. I apologize.
It's all right. It's all right. I don't think we're going to quite agree on this one, so we might as well move on. But
that's fine. Agree to disagree.
Yeah. To get upset about.
I'm not upset.
I didn't mean you. I just mean it's just generally not.
Oh no, it's not. And plus, like, it's a fight that's unfortunately probably not going to happen next.
Well, no, if people don't answer their DMs.
Hey, if people don't send official offers, then of course
there's no offer.
There's no offer.
There is.
No, there's not.
He just has to say, yeah, sure, send a term sheet. We're good.
Motherfucker, send that should be your first step. And every time promoters don't do that as their first step, it is fishy. Because Rob, you know this. The best negotiation is one that we don't hear about. Right? Like whenever it goes dark or quiet, that's usually the sign official channels are being followed, which are not public channels. And fights get made that way. Social media, fights often don't get made through social media. It's a way to create public interest in fights, right? To get your tribe and your tribe against each other, get the flags up, get everyone waving, going about with the pom-poms, saying, oh, my guy's going to beat your guy, blah, blah, he's ducking. Like, it's a great way to do that. And that has value. But that's the value in that is not to get fights made. It's to get fights hype. two very different things that promoters have to do.
If he really wanted to make the fight, the contract would have been sent electronically. Like as a stockbroker, we would send it while we're still on the phone. Be like, okay, send me the paperwork. Open up your emails. You have it right now. Let's go over it together. Right? Like if he really wanted the fight, it would have been sent. Right? Like open up your email and I'll walk you through everything. Is there anyone else you should get on the phone? Let's do it right now. Like what's tomorrow going to do? Right, tomorrow's you're just gonna overthink it. Like, what are you gonna wake up in the middle of the night and ask your wife, "Hey, baby, should I take the Andrade fight?" No, let's sit down, let's look at it together, and if you have any questions, we can address it. But that was never done because so the fight wasn't really never serious. I'm not saying Eddie Hearn has no interest in the fight. I'm saying it's not. It wasn't a serious offer.
I'll put it this way: I guarantee you, his first sent out or his first line of communication to Mikey to make the deal, like the final deal, right to land that one. Was not an IG DM. Was on Twitter DM.
No, he slid in his DMs ages ago, Matt.
Ages ago. I guarantee you, he's already slid in Charlo's DMs.
Yeah, they tried to sign in when DAZN started.
Exactly. He's already been in those DMs. Does that work?
Well, it worked for Mikey, so why wouldn't it work for Charlo?
I don't think it worked for Mikey.
The original DM sliding worked. He's now got him on a fight on DAZN.
It took him a year and a half.
All right. Look forward to that one.
Yeah, that
Andrade Charlo 2021.
Charlo Andrade, but same thing.
I keep doing that. I don't care.
I mean, never mind. I was about to. That's a side topic. Anyways, digressing. Speaking of Charlo, though, Mike Coppinger reporting Sergey Derevchenko has now been elevated to number 1 in the updated WBC middleweight rankings. Jamal Charlo has yet to make a mandatory defense of his WBC middleweight title, paving the way for a likely fight between Charlo and Derevchenko in 2020. Both are PBC fighters, reports Mike Coppinger. Guys, thoughts on Charlo Derevchenko now most likely happening in April, May, June of this year, right? Is that what we're thinking? This is the next fight?
I don't know when the man is. He hasn't done a mandatory yet, right?
No.
Yeah, it must be next then. Chris Eubank's gonna have to wait.
It's a fine fight. I like it. I think Derevchenko, based on the Triple G robbery, deserves a title shot. So this is good, and it's a good fight for both guys.
Robbery.
It's not as good as the Andrade unification, but it's a good fight.
It's fine.
Stop with the robbery shit.
It was horrible.
It was one of the worst decisions of last year.
It was
a close fight. In how many times?
Hey, I'm not going the robbery. No, Rob, relax. Rob, relax. Relax. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be and say that's it's a robbery, but it was one of the worst decisions of last year. Like if you're thinking of the top 10 worst decisions of last year, it's in the top 10.
Only if you think Derevchenko won.
Was Hogan versus Munguia a robbery?
No, but it's in the top 10.
Wow.
It was a close fight, right? What was it? 1 round, 2 rounds in it?
I had it wide for some people had it close, some people had it wide for Hogan, but I didn't see anyone having Munguia winning.
Yeah, I have to watch it again, but I'm just saying when the scorecards come out, is that a robbery?
I thought
it was close.
all those fights were robberies. But again, robbery, it's not a legal robbery, right? He's not going to, the judges aren't going to be arrested and charged with theft, or investigated.
I forgot you all thought. You all thought Ryder won as well.
Gary, I will push back on that. I don't think because he lost to Triple G, he then deserves a title shot. That doesn't make a lot of sense. No. Even if it was a close fight. Even if it was a close fight. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Because I'm going to make a comparison here. Sean Porter, a guy that also last year a very close contentious loss in a title fight, right?
And he's number 1 with the WBC.
And a lot of people are talking about him fighting, other people, whether it be Terence Crawford or Manny Pacquiao, others, right? Like he's still right in the top, right? People want to see him fight at the top. The difference is Sean Porter has been a champion multiple times already. He has proven that he's an elite competitor. Derevchenko lost pretty significantly, in my opinion, to Daniel Jacobs.
Beat up,
and then had the night of his life against Triple G, fading Triple G, who's now with Victor Conte, whatever you guys want to make of that.
Don't forget, he got the eliminator after the Jacobs loss against Coldplay. Straight back into a shot. Triple G, straight back into a shot. Gary's right. This guy's got fucking
he has
videos of some shit.
But I would say this: Derevchenko is a guy that's really talented. He's a top 10 guy, but he's like Murata. Does he really deserve a Jamal Charlo fight? I mean, if it's the best they can do, but here's the thing: it's not the best they can do.
It's not the best they can do. It's the best PBC can do.
And that,
I mean, would you
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care what's best for PBC or what's best for Matchroom. What's best for boxing? What's best for boxing?
Purely.
What's best for boxing? They care what's best for PBC. I'm just that's
Gary. I understand that, and we all understand how corporations think. Like, we're not kids, but our job here is to not peddle in their talking points
100%.
and to give them cover to be greedy corporations. Our job here is to shine light on them being greedy.
Yeah, Kenny.
Rob, don't talk here, okay? You sit down for a second, okay?
My bad.
you don't even talk either.
It's just a short look. The Derevchenko fight's a fine fight. It's a good fight. It's a high action fight. Right? I like that fight, but it's not what's in the best interest for Jamal Charlo. You can't even argue that it is. So,
Whoa.
Wait, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
No, let me just explain. This will be technically, just purely on numbers, the biggest name on Charlo's record, right?
No, Williams.
No, Derevchenko has definitely got more letters in it than Williams.
I hate you. Get out of here. Gary, wait, what do you mean by that? This is I forget how you phrase it. It's bad for Charlo, this fight.
it's not bad for Charlo, but it's not. A Triple G fight's better. A Canelo fight's better.
Okay, I understand what you're saying now. Okay, I didn't get if you meant that from a negative perspective or okay. I get what you're saying now. I get what you're saying. I agree.
Andrade fight. So pursue every one of those fights until they're completely exhausted before you settle for Derevchenko. But they haven't tried for that. So you're not doing what's in the best interest of your fighter.
I agree completely. Triple G fight, Canelo fight, bigger money fights. Andrade's a bigger money fight than Derevchenko, and all those are belts. They're all unifications, all of them. And Derevchenko is just an in-house fight, and we know that. And I'm tired of in-house fights. Like 2020 needs to be the year of no more just in-house fights for the sake of in-house fights. I can't. If I have to watch one more stuttering video of Sean Porter, I'm gonna have a freak out, guys. Because editing that video yesterday or the day before and watching that clip again of Sean Porter stuttering from that Max Kellerman question is nauseating. Okay, it makes me sick to my fucking stomach. You're a goddamn fighter. Act like it, please.
We need
you have a big fight in front of you and you stutter. Bullshit, man. And to Charlo to a degree, you have all these big names. You have Oscar now talking about you in the media. You have Eddie talking about you in the media. You better get out there and whatever press you want to put this information out to and say some shit back. You better. Otherwise, what are you doing? This is a huge moment and an opportunity to get bigger fights. Get them. Get them. Stop stuttering. Stop sitting on your hands and go get the big fights that are not in-house. Gary.
I do like how Porter is having these options. Porter was like, no one's ever said Porter is my favorite fighter, right? Like, I mean, we all like Porter, but no one's a huge Porter fan, right? Except for maybe Marcus from Ohio. But like, besides that, like, Porter's my favorite fighter. I'm a Porter fanboy, said no one ever. And now he's getting these fights because he constantly makes good fights and he's constantly in good fights, right? So Porter's a great guy. He's a good champion. This is good for Porter. He should take this fight with Crawford. Just get it done. Because you're going to be sitting around waiting, hopefully, that one of these other PBC guys calls your number. And if not, you're going to be fighting Andre Berto or whoever else. Like, I guess he already fought Berto. But you know what I'm saying? He's going to be fighting those B and C level guys. Mm-hmm. Go fight Crawford. Maybe Matt thinks you could win. I don't, but you have a chance to win. You can make life hell for anybody. So see what you can do.
Absolutely.
I don't mind the Derevchenko fight. I'll be honest. I think it'd be a good fight. But
I like how
like Gary's sort of excuse for Canelo Murata. That is a more valid excuse for a Charlo Derevchenko fight, in my opinion, because it's the best name that he would have fought in middleweight for sure. You know what I mean? Like, it's a clear step up in competition from who he's been fighting, the Sebastian Highlands of the world, like that level of opponent. Mm-hmm. Far better than Matt Korobov, I would say. That might be a little bit of a hot take, but I say Derevchenko is a better fighter than Matt Korobov. Both better and more entertaining. There's a difference there. But like Gary said, I fall back to, is this the best fight that could be made? No, there's available champions right now. Triple G has mandatory, so that's probably not going to happen. But Andrade's right there, man. He's right there for the taking too. That's
Check
a
your
winnable
DMs,
fight.
man. Check your DMs.
And think about it. If he beats Andrade, and then is a unified champion, air quotes, because the whole WBC situation, what does that do for his negotiation going into like a Triple G fight? You know what I mean? Like he instantly has so much more value just picking up that other fucking trinket around Andrade's waist. Like that's all he needs to go pick up, and he instantly adds value to negotiation with Canelo, with Triple G, and those are big money fights for him. Massive. Those are legacy defining fights too.
Yeah. I think he's still the B side. I think it would be Triple G, first name on the.
Oh no, of course, no.
But I think it would get him more money.
Absolutely, if from a 70-30 split to 60-40, 55-45, absolutely. And that's the big difference. We're talking about millions. That for a percentage swing, 10% swing or 20% swing. But guys, any other thoughts on Jamal Charlo in the middleweight division? No? Okay, we just move on. Lance Pugmire reporting. Manager Sean Gibbons, right? That's his last name, Sean Gibbons. Reports Manny Pacquiao prefers / aims to return to boxing in April and, quote, would welcome Mayweather or Conor McGregor as his next opponent. Guys, thoughts on Manny Pacquiao not fighting any of the top welterweights and fighting Mayweather or McGregor in April?
We see where Mayweather's at. I mean, where Pacquiao's at. He's got his win against Thurman. He feels good, right? That's like his third generation of fighters, going back to Luwaba in 99 or 98, whenever it was. So, I guess, like it's okay. I'm done. That was the name I wanted. I wanted one of those guys, Danny, Keith, Sean, Errol. I got one. I'm good. I'm going to fight these little ridiculous things and make a ton of money and end my career like that. It's unfortunate because he's still got a lot left in the tank. He just beat Keith Thurman, right? But we're not going to get to see it, and that's okay. Like, I'm not going to pay for these fights, but there's a market for him, like Matt said. He's going to fight McGregor. I don't know when, but that's probably going to happen. So, y'all can enjoy that, and he'll make $100 million or something ridiculous, Do you think $100 million out of the question? Do you think he can make $100 million to fight McGregor?
Oh, absolutely.
300.
Yes, yeah. 100 million. Yes, that's without a question. And I agree with your assessment, Gary, that he got his one. He beat Keith Thurman. He's good. In his mind, he beat the current generation. He doesn't need to go and prove himself to Earl Spence and the likes. He's good. Rob, your thoughts? Pacquiao versus McGregor or May Pac 2?
I think we'll get May Pac 2, seeing as we're going to get Mac Bud.
That's a topic too. Don't worry, Rob.
I know. And I'll give about as many fucks as that as I am this one. I really don't care. I don't know. McGregor just beat up a guy that has got 15 losses or something, and he's like the hottest ticket in.
Don Cerrone, perennial top 15 guy in 2 divisions. That was a great tune-up after a 2-year layoff.
All right.
That would be like, let's say if who's the guy that recently had like a huge layoff? Mikey, is he the last one that had like a huge layoff? You're muted, Gary.
Keith Thurman.
Oh, Keith Thurman. Great example. If Keith Thurman came back and fought, actually, probably Lopez would probably be a good example.
Lopez is a good example, yeah.
Yeah, Lopez probably is a good example. Maybe another guy would be like Thomas Delorme, guy that has losses, but clear like perennial guy in multiple divisions. And come back and let's say knock him out in 40 seconds. That's impressive. Thurman didn't do that.
McGregor hasn't exactly been laid off. He's been fighting old guys in pubs and stuff, right?
I mean, good rebuttal. Good rebuttal. I can't respond to that.
And courts.
A lot of court, yeah.
No, look, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not interested in either of them. So if you want to skip to the next one that I don't care about.
Will you pay for them, Rob?
Huh?
Will you pay for them? Will you
I'll
buy?
have to, because I've got an older child that would probably want to watch it.
I'll pay for May Pac 2. I won't pay for Pacquiao McGregor.
I'm a sick fuck. I pay for everything. I mean, I paid for like all of Crawford's pay-per-views, and I
That's
feel
the
sick.
first step to recovery, Matt. Admitting it, owning it.
Oh my god, the
My
amount
name is Matt Hunter, and I am a sick fuck.
Yeah, probably end up buying it, but like right now, my mindset is no. And I didn't buy Mayweather versus McGregor. I didn't buy Canelo versus Chavez Jr. So I got.
You watched Logan Paul and KSI, though, right?
That was $100. That was $100 for one event, though. Because Pacquiao McGregor would be $100 pay-per-view.
Yeah, I'm just saying, DAZN's really paying off, right?
Fuck out of here. But you know what's sad is that, like, sort of a side topic, that DAZN card, the stupid Jake Paul fight, the rest of the card's really good, right? Except for maybe like the Andrade Keeler fight, but that's whatever. That's the best card probably on paper still this year.
Yeah, first quarter, I think so.
Yeah, maybe Gary Russell, King Tug, because that has Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Libero Solis. That's a really good fight as the co-main. But you have Roman Akhmadiliev, you have Farmer Diaz. I mean, that's better. But digressing.
I think the Mikey card's going to be good as well, right? Yeah, fine.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a fantastic card. Fantastic. That's probably going to be the best card of the year. At least the undercard. The undercard's fantastic. Main events, whatever, but the undercard's amazing. Speaking of amazing, I guess it's amazing for the pockets of Bob Arum and ESPN. McGregor versus Terrence Crawford is what Bob Arum wants. Bob Arum has declared that he wants to make Conor McGregor versus Terrence Crawford next. The promoters said they will be pursuing this with Dana White and are open to doing a 2-fight boxing MMA deal, as Crawford has a wrestling background per TalkBox / Michael Benson. Guys, thoughts on...
Gary, you go first.
And you were going to protest. You were going to burn the town down over the Patrick Teixeira fight. Patrick Teixeira started looking real good when you heard about this, didn't it?
It looks so good, man. You have no idea.
I mean... I don't know. I said that Pacquiao McGregor wasn't going to happen, 0% chance. And you talked about it for 5 minutes. I was like, oh, geez, this may happen. Now I'm pretty confident it is going to happen. After like 2 days ago, I said 0% chance. Now I was like, it's probably going to happen. Is this realistic?
No. Crawford isn't the guys that Mayweather Pacquiao are. And plus, he's a way more dangerous fight than those two guys are for McGregor. No, it's not happening. No. This is a 0% chance.
Matt, how easy is it to line up the video I just sent in the banter chat?
Oh, the banter chat.
Yeah, because Bob's had a complete swing as you know what he feels about everything.
Hold on, it's not showing up yet.
Oh,
yeah, send it again, Rob.
What?
Oh, maybe that's why I'm not seeing it. There you go. I see it now. Rob, you talk a little bit more about.
Tell me when you're ready, then. No, yeah, this is insane. I mean, Bob mentioned Crawford's got a background in wrestling, so he can do the octagon fight as well, man.
Rob, what am I going to be pulling up here?
Just the swing in Bob's sort of thoughts on the whole UFC kind of thing. Are you not allowed to play it or something?
Well, no, I'm worried about the system still. For those that don't know, I fixed my internet myself. Shout out to Frontier Communications. Bullshit. So that means I'm worried about it still. So, like, is it like actually newsworthy or is it comedy?
It's comedy, but informative.
Okay, I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up, you fucking bastard.
Do it for me.
If the system crashes, it's because of Rob, guys.
It's worth it if it works.
It's not, probably.
It is.
It's not. You know how I know it's bullshit too? Because it's Rob's video and it's 7 seconds long. Hold on.
How long does it
Watch.
take?
It's horrible. Guys rolling around like homosexuals on the ground.
Bob didn't even like UFC, and now he wants to throw one of his big stars in the octagon.
Dude, Bob Arum is such a sick person, man. I fucking hate it. One, he's like that Joe Biden supporter who like hates homosexuals and hates black people. We know it. So like, fuck him. Like, in every sense of the word. Fuck this guy.
That guy was like, come on, boy, you know, the UFC, and that was UFC. That was his opinion on the UFC. But
Bob Arum needs to fucking retire.
yeah,
Like,
and look, Dana White is not the biggest Bob Arum fan, right?
No, they hate each other.
Yeah, so this this is just
I don't get the hostility towards, like, I'm a boxing fan. Hardcore boxing fan. 25 years been a boxing fan. More than that, probably. I don't understand, like, why guys like Lou DiBella and Bob Arum get so pissed off about people who like MMA. It's like, okay, it's better than golf. I'd rather watch it than golf. Like, I don't watch it either, but like they get so heated, and it's like you can tell that there's hatred for people, and all that is like UFC and MMA is like really, it's real. Like they big mad. It's like, why do you care so much? Why is it upsetting to you that someone likes UFC? It's like when it says they like WWE. Rob gets so heated.
I don't get heated. It's ridiculous. It's not a sport.
See, you're already getting heated, Rob. Relax. Relax. Woosah, man. Woosah. It's okay, man. Don't mention it again, Gary. Don't do that.
Do MMA fans get equally as heated when you talk about boxing?
No. It's a different dynamic for MMA fans to boxing, but there is a dynamic. So MMA fans have like an inferiority complex, I would say, with boxing fans and boxing as a whole, where there's always this need to like validate ourselves as a community to you guys. That's why you get a lot of MMA guys wanting to fight boxers, because in their minds that validates them.
They want to check.
Well, that too, but but no, I mean, like honestly, you have a sport that's 120 years old professionally.
Yeah,
like you can trace the heavyweight division back to 1885. Like that legacy, that history is just not there in MMA. So naturally, I think MMA fans and MMA fighters, MMA promoters, they feel inferior to boxing to a degree, and there's always been that sort of dynamic, like that little brother syndrome. While boxing had big brother syndrome, where that's the upstart little brother that's adopted or step brother or whatever. So we fucking hate him. We hate your dad too because he beats us up or something. So fuck this little brother. So we're gonna beat him up, okay? Because we're getting abused. So that's sort of the dynamic we have with boxing.
Yeah. I don't know. I just this whole Terence Crawford McGregor, it's not happening. It's
0%.
No. And I mean, now it's all the boxers wanting to fight the MMA guy. So I don't know. It's all McGregor instantly as soon as McGregor was getting his shine for winning in an impressive fashion or whatever. Mayweather was instantly out there with his Mayweather McGregor 2 poster and his Khabib poster as well.
Sick. Fucking disgusting. Anyways, moving on. Chris Mannix reporting talks have continued between reps for Andy Ruiz and Dylan White. Industry sources told Sports Illustrated White's promoter Eddie Hearn has been aggressive in trying to make a U.S.-based fight between White and Ruiz. Guys, thoughts on this? I'm going to go to Gary first here, since you're a DAZN subscriber. Thoughts on a possible DAZN U.S. main event with Dylan White and Andy Ruiz. Thoughts on that as a paying consumer of DAZN?
I love the main event. I love the fight. It's a fun fight. It's a good fight. It's a 50-50-ish kind of fight where I couldn't see either guy winning. I would lean towards Ruiz, though. It makes no sense to put it in the U.S., though. It just makes so much more sense in the UK. Ruiz has credibility in the UK because he knocked out Anthony Joshua. And like the US fan base doesn't care about Dillian White. I know Dillian White's a fun fighter. He's got tremendous Deontay Wilder type knockouts. Like he's fun, which is what makes the fight so great. But like American fan base doesn't care about Dillian White. Like it makes no sense. I love the fight. I just think you're putting it in the wrong country.
Rob,
do Mexican Americans care about Ruiz more than UK fans care about Dillian White? Is there more?
No, that wouldn't be the comparison. It would be, I think the comparison would be more so: do UK fans care more about Andy Ruiz than US fans care about Dylan White?
No, I'm just saying the reason it would be in the States is if there's going to be a big following for Mexican Americans or whatever, or Mexicans tuning in to see Andy Ruiz, right?
It's a weird thing because if you're DAZN, you don't have any long-term access to Andy Ruiz, right? So maybe you're hoping that you get him for another fight to continue those subscribers, right? That obviously came on for the AJ fights. But is it the right investment for DAZN for a Dylan White fight next? I don't know. And I also don't know if it's necessarily the best fight for either guy right now.
I think it's the best fight for White. I really, if providing he wins, sure, I get it. But this is like this whole WC mandatory spot that he's been fucking clinging on to and waiting his shot. You're going to risk it against the Al Heyman guy?
No, that's
set
true.
up a Ruiz Wilder fight. If he loses it, then Ruiz is the mandatory.
It's almost like Eddie is doing everything in his power not to have to get him a title shot. It's like, yeah, it's like, oh, don't beat King Kong Ortiz. Who can we get next? Who might be able to beat this guy? I don't have to give him a title shot. It seems like that, doesn't it? Like, why Ruiz? Why now?
Well, he got Marius Wackin to do that job. Now he's trying to do it to Parker.
And to that point, I mean, if you're Eddie, and to the point that I made earlier about like, look, I'm done with in-house fights, right? I'm done with in-house fights unless they're possibly the best fights that are available. White Usyk is possibly a better fight, makes far more sense for the division in terms of momentum right now for all involved. Why not make that fight? And then if White wins, he's a WBO mandatory. If Usyk wins, he beat Dylan White. Make that fight in the UK. UK pay-per-view. Usyk has some cachet. He did great numbers with Tony Bellew. I would assume he does also great numbers with Dylan White as well. And Dylan White's a much bigger star than Tony Bellew, right? And Andy Ruiz kind of probably needs a tune-up fight. He's coming off a loss. And God knows if he's going to be switching trainers, lifestyle changes, whatever. I mean, it just doesn't make a lot of sense for who is moving in which direction for the division. I often like winners versus winners and losers versus losers. I often like that mentality. If you just lost, go fight another guy that just lost. Go fight like a Brian Jennings, who I feel like has been losing all of his fights lately, if you're Andy Ruiz. Don't go fight another guy that's on a huge win streak. Because that guy that's on a win streak should go fight another guy that's on a win streak. And then put his on the line against another guy's. That's how I've always viewed matchmaking, how it should be done. So that's what I would prefer. I know it's not happening, but interesting that they're pushing for it. And also interesting that, and maybe, I think it was either you, Rob, or Gary, I forget which one stated this. I think it was you, Rob, the idea that if you're Dylan White, why would you risk your mandatory spot, air quote, against a PBC fighter? I was thinking more from when I first saw this news, why would Andy Ruiz negotiate for this fight coming off a loss? Sort of the logic that I stated. But Rob, you said something that sort of maybe changed my tune a little bit. If you're Andy Ruiz, maybe this is the good fight for you because it instantly gets you back in the title contention. You instantly become a mandatory to a belt. If you're Heyman and you're playing 3D chess, you take a mandatory spot away from Dylan White and Eddie Hearn. And that's a huge thing to get off the sort of chessboard.
Yeah. You basically get the whole undisputed fight without it being for undisputed. Is still Ruiz where he should have been had he won the rematch with Joshua. It's just, I guess, boutless. Although hopefully he wears a belt because his shorts nearly come down every time. Going
into this show, I was kind of, I really not necessarily didn't believe this news story, but I didn't think it was actually going to come to any fruition. But Rob, you made good points. I think Gary made some good points. And this fight could happen. It could not happen. There's a lot on the table for why this could be and could not be made.
I felt when the offer went in originally, we've heard, we've sent an offer to Ruiz, and everyone went, well, Ruiz, that was out of the blue. But to hear now that Andy has responded, he looked at his DM, said, oh, Eddie, I want a little bit more. And Eddie went, all right, what about this? And now it's sort of like interest. They're actually talking. It's like this seems to be actually something in this, whereas before I just felt it was Dylan White's fighting Povetkin, but we'll put it out there. Andy's not even training. No. He's going to say no. But the fact that they've readdressed the value of the fight or how much Ruiz is going to get, and now there seems to be camps talking. Yeah, so maybe there's something to it.
We're just going to get Povetkin, let's be honest.
Yeah, probably.
Moving on, unless anything else or anyone else has anything else to say. Perfect. Moving on. Clarissa Shields responding to Eddie Hearns saying or implying that he would be willing to promote a Layla Ali and Clarissa Shields fight? And Shields responding, music to my ears. Guys, thoughts on Eddie Hearn promoting a Ali Shields fight on DAZN?
Did you not get the audio?
No, I didn't.
Whoa. Why not? Where is it?
What do you mean? Audio where? Obviously the topic chat.
Topics.
And audio from whom?
Eddie Hearn on his offer, on him trying to communicate with Layla Ali.
It was the Sirius XM video, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just emphasized.
Yeah, that's so hard to do on the computer, though. You guys talk for a bit. I'll see if I can pull it up. Eddie Hearn promoting Shields, Ali, obviously on DAZN. Thoughts on that possibility?
I'm sure Eddie Hearn would like to promote that fight because there's money in the fight. The only problem is Layla Ali's not fighting. Curtis Conway has about as much chance of playing in the NFL again as Layla Ali does in college. She's not coming back. She hasn't fought. We looked at it was 13 years, Matt.
Give us an equivalent theory in like so the English people understand, Gary.
Curtis Conway is a wide receiver. So give me a footballer who hasn't a good football player, an all-star level football player who was an all-star 20 years ago who hasn't played in at least 13 years.
Right. Okay. No. All right. That's what you meant.
Yeah.
Just so you could explain what you meant.
Apparently, you're an NFL buff, though. Every time I talk to you, you watch.
No, that's why I got you.
Yeah, Rob's not British, guys. I just want to let everyone know he's fake. He has a fake mask on of a British person. He's secretly a Yankee.
Away with it too if it wasn't for you pesky kids.
I mean,
we used to go to college with this kid who said he was from France. He wore a beret, had a French accent. His name was like Simon, and then he had like an Anglo-Saxon last name too.
Was
like
it Simon or Simon?
Simon.
Oh, see, that's the giveaway. That's the giveaway. You could have known.
Yeah, this kid is making this up to try to get chicks with his fake French accent. This is fake.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Simon.
I've definitely had friends try and do like an Australian or British accent for a whole night at parties, and it actually works. Like, just saying, not a bad way to go about if you just want that.
I'd have been doing an Australian accent. He'd have been dropping the C-bomb all night and never would have got a lady calling her a C-bomb.
Well, it's the American version of these accents. Come on.
Good day, mate.
But Gary, you act like this isn't possible. I mean, if Eddie Hearn and DAZN are out there making YouTuber fights, you don't think they're going to throw a bag at Layla Ali and think that, oh my God, we can promote it as the daughter of the great Muhammad Ali? We like that's money in the bank for us. You don't think DAZN is thinking that, or Eddie Hearn's thinking that to a degree?
DAZN is thinking that. I just don't think Layla Ali's kind of. No, I absolutely. Like I said, I think Eddie Hearn would love to do it. I just don't think Layla Ali has any interest in it. Really, I think she was just going. What was she on, the Breakfast Club, or what was she on? That she said.
No, I think it was Akin Barak.
Okay, I mean, she was bored. Like, I think her kids are like high school age now, so they're probably not home much, and she's bored. So she's like, I want to go on and call out Clarissa Shields. Like, I don't think she was being. Maybe I'm wrong, but she was what, 42, 44?
Let's play this clip from Eddie Hearn. I'm trying to just play the whole thing, Rob.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Okay, it's not loading.
So Instagram, 30th of January, 2019. Cast your minds back a month before we just done Clarissa Shields against Hannah Rankin in Kansas.
Yes.
So I send
and this on the
Layla Ali, I slide
show.
into a DM.
Oh my God.
And I say, Layla Ali, when's the comeback, champ? There has never been a better time.
Wow.
And this was on 30th of January 2019. She doesn't follow me, so she probably didn't get it. But if you didn't get it and you're watching this, Layla Ali, come see me.
Wow.
Because I love this fight.
Wow.
I love
but
this
do you
fight.
have millions of dollars for her?
Well, the first part of the question was yes. Do we have millions of dollars?
How
the
many
second
is the
part
second?
was for her is who knows? I mean, again, it's something completely unique. And with DAZN, the key for us is to drive subscription moments, if you like, for the platform.
Right.
So we have to produce a schedule for subscribers and fight fans that is unrivaled. But we do want these, what we call internally as tentpole moments.
Right.
That's why you might see Logan Paul against KSI.
Right.
That's why you might see Antonio Brown against Logan Paul.
And this is one of those moments.
I believe now the size of it is the question.
Question.
does it reach across the mainstream where Muhammad Ali's daughter takes on arguably one of the top women fighters of today?
Well, with one interview, actually we interviewed them both the same week. With one interview, it was mentioned on the biggest radio station there is, the biggest radio show in the whole nation. From
I don't need hear Akbar pontificate about this fight. I just don't care. I
can't believe he was giving us such a big shout out. That's sweet.
I like the whole Ellie saying exactly what I was going to say. Another DM laughing.
Yeah, I know, right? I knew you'd like that. That's what I said.
And look, it didn't work. Send an email. But digressing, I think that this fight has a weird chance of happening because it's women's boxing, so the need for these crazy moments I think is a little bit more exemplified in women's boxing than men's boxing, even though it happens in men's boxing too. You still get the Antonio Brown, Logan Paul bullshit fights, right? But to me, it's different. To me, that's not a real subscriber tentpole event. Okay, Layla Ali though versus Clarissa Shields could be for women's boxing because women's boxing has so few moments in the last few years. So it's a weird matchup. It's a weird event that could happen. I don't want to see it, but I could see why the sport, using that very generic monolithic term here, could deem this fight necessary. Because I could see why. I could see why they're thinking, look, or if Shields is thinking, whoever's thinking, look, we can do all these other fights, Jimenez, Savannah Marshall, maybe even Brackus down the line after she fights Katie Taylor. And those all get us, X amount of dollars, all get us X amount of fame and legacy. But Layla Ali, if we fight her one time, we make all that money in one night. Potentially, it crosses the mainstream more than likely than these other fights. We have to take it. We have to take this chance. Similar to what we were sort of stating for like Charlo and Canelo. But obviously, it's not a one-to-one analog. But that's the same logic I would use. That's your big shot. That's your big money fight. You gotta take it. And if you're Clarissa Shields, this might be your big money fight to a degree. And that's sad to say. That's obviously an indictment on women's boxing at the very top. But it's just a reality. Guys.
But if I said, okay, Brackus, Cecilia Brackus, what's a bigger money fight? Now, Brackus is one of the best women fighters ever. Like, she's probably got the best resume of any women's fighter ever. Right? She's probably had the best career. But, like, Layla Ali would bring in more money. So it's not an indictment on women's boxing. It's no different than Conor McGregor versus Manny Pacquiao. You're just paying for the names.
And that's an indictment on men's boxing, just to a lesser degree, because men's boxing still has a lot of depth they can sort of fall back on. And while we might get Pacquiao and McGregor, we're still going to get maybe Crawford Porter or Spence Garcia this year. And those are really good fights between top 5 guys.
Layla Ali said that she would need $5 or $10 million at least to come back. They're not going to offer her that. I mean, do you think so? I mean, that is so much money.
I don't think that much money, no. But it's the zone. I mean, they're paying.
I mean, they offer $1 million. Do you think she'd come back? Because I don't know. Like,
it would be more than 1 for sure, and it would probably be close to 5. I can see her getting paid $5 million for that. Wow. I could see Shields and Ali getting paid $5 million each for this fight, or like 6-4, and one person getting $4 million. I could see that.
Tough to turn down $5 million, but again, her and her husband have been retired. I just looked up. Curtis Conway retired in 2004, so he's been retired 15, going on 16 seasons. Layla Ali hasn't fought in 13 years. So they've been enjoying the good life for a decade and a half. Like, you want to get up now and go do this? I mean, $5 million is a lot of money.
Hell, $1 million is a lot of money. Fuck.
Yeah.
They have.
Look, Shields.
It is, but she wasn't enticed before to come back. What's going to change that now? I guess there was nothing like Clarissa Shields years ago. Maybe
absolutely, yeah, there wasn't. I mean, think about who was like the women's boxer that was holding it down in 2010. Can you name that person? I can't. I bet like Leonard Sterling will in the comment section later, but I can't think of that person during the Holly Holm era, because I only know Holly Holm because of her MMA career. I didn't know her when she was a boxer.
Look, Shields replied to someone the other day, and she said, "My last purse was $300K, so $1 million is, are going to be a hell of a lot in terms of what Shields has been sort of earning. Yeah, I don't know if Layla Ali can get into shape. You know, I don't know. I can see it happening, but I don't know. I can also easily see it not. But I'm not ruling it out as like pure fantasy, because you know, when the money starts getting presented and looked at, and what this could do, and I don't know, it could easily happen. And like you say, maybe women's boxing, I don't know, needs this kind of thing just to, I don't know, help it along a little bit. But I don't know. I'm not ruling it out. Be interesting.
Agreed. Well, guys, we're actually going to cut the show at this point in time because it's already getting close to 2 hours, and I don't want to go for a third hour, and we have a lot more topics to go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more topics to get through. We're not doing that in 10 minutes. So
one
more. On to tomorrow. What, you want one more topic?
One more.
One more? Oh, for the
like a good one.
Oh, you want me to skip around here?
Have a look. What do you think? Let me look as well, because you'll probably pick a shit one.
Okay, I'll name off some topics, and you can pick, and the other ones we'll talk about tomorrow. Josh Taylor and his mandatory ending up on PBC potentially via purse bid. Also, him changing to Ben Davison because of the whole situation.
I'm not sure that's an official trainer change yet, but
he's training with Ben Davison. That is true, obviously, but he is obviously switching trainers going forward. Is it Ben Davison? No, but going to find out there. Cal Smith, John Ryder, 2. Ramirez and Alvarez being lined up for that vacant WBO belt via Yavon Mitchell and Jake Donovan.
Ooh, wow, part of a
interesting
four-man tournament.
Yeah, but there's some pushback on whether that tournament actually will happen, in my opinion. Because Yavon Mitchell, what he's saying is not that. He's saying Ramirez Alvarez for the vacant belt. So I think that tournament has not been official yet, but that's some good news to get to. Also, what else do we have? Nordine Obali, Nonito Donaire, purse bid postponed.
Just pure stupidness of it all.
Yes, it was postponed. I know, Gary.
Yeah.
What else do we have here?
Otto Wallin, Lucas
Jared Miller, Bob Arum. That's sort of being official now per Bob Arum. Otto Wallin, Lucas Brown, and that's it.
On Showtime, what the hell? Otto Wallin, fucking Lucas Brown. I've replied to Mike Coppinger. Main event? Like
Showbox?
I don't know.
But guys, what's the one topic, Rob, that you want to address before we
let Gary choose? See if there's a.
I want to do the Josh Taylor one.
Okay, so Josh Taylor via Sean Nam over at USA Today and Boxing Junkie reporting. Samson Lukowitz on the upcoming IBF purse bid January 24th between his Thai challenger Apanoon Konsong and top-ranked signee Josh Taylor. Quote, "For whatever reason, PBC loves the fight. I strongly believe we can win it, and so it would be good to bring it to PBC." And also, Josh Taylor, like I said, is training with Ben Davison, and obviously leaving the McGuigans. Gonna be interesting to see who he sort of lines up with as his full-time trainer going forward. But guys, thoughts on Josh Taylor, top-ranked signee, but first fight with them not being on ESPN potentially? Thoughts on this? This would be huge if this happens. Like, that would be a huge fuck you by PBC to Top Rank to have their huge signee, right? Josh Taylor, and his first fight with Top Rank not to be on their network.
Yeah, like Carl Murray as well, coming out, being on a little bit. I don't know. It's like, yeah, welcome to the fucking, come in, motherfucker. You know, welcome to Top Rank, bitch. It's like, well, hang on, I thought you'd be a little bit more open-armed about it. Yeah, it's weird, eh? I was like, what? Why do PBC want fucking Kong Seong Dong, whatever his name is?
His nephew. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's all it is, but all right. But I still don't think it happens, by the way. Because I was told PBC wanted Fortuna Campbell, which it may still will be. I don't know. Maybe Eddie's going to be like, yeah, we're finalizing contracts now, and he's going to be fighting on Fox. But
do you think they get one of those? On that topic of PBC trying to probably go for one of those two, do you think they angle for one of those and actually get either a Josh Taylor fight over on their network or a Campbell fight over on their network via purse bid?
I wonder if they're like, yeah, which one would be funniest if we could get an Eddie fighter over here or a Bob's fighter over here? Yeah, let's go for their big new signing.
No. Do you know how purse bids work? Like, I want to go to one. I want to get my promoter's license just to go to one. Is it just like a silent auction
You take $20 and slam it on the table.
in, or is it like when you go bid on something where it's like a live auction? Like, how do these work? Do you know how they work?
It's like
it's not. I wouldn't say it's a live auction. Like you don't have a sanctioning body head going, and he's 1 million. We got 2 million. No, we don't get that.
Going once, going twice.
But what it is,
the Texan in the corner with the crazy hair.
My understanding is that usually you have representatives there that will bid, and it's a silent sort of auction. It's something that can take multiple days too, because there are times where a purse bid does prolong and go over a day. That does happen if there's bids back and forth.
Sometimes it's like opening of an envelope, right? They put in like their offerings in an envelope and they open and go, yeah. And it's weird. Sometimes they're like quite, it just shows that like the guys that are involved, they run the numbers and try and, because they obviously don't want a crazy spend. And it's crazy how close some of these bids. It's not like someone goes, we'll come in with $4 million on this fight. And someone comes in and it's like, oh shit, we put 15. What the fuck? It's like there's never. They're close, right? There's like 100 grand or what did Eddie lose one not long ago?
200 grand,
like that. No, it's like 60. I think it's 60 grand or something crazy. So it's like they get these numbers pretty close to each other's sort of tally. But I don't know. Do PBC really want to go up against the might Disney?
Like Rob said, I want to say it's a blind bid too. Like you don't know what the other person's bidding.
No.
That's what. So if I was going to say, if PBC can just do this to hurt their opponent, like because Top Rank needs to get this fight, right? Like they have to get. They can't let PBC walk away with this fight. So I would just raise the price so high that's like, damn, you're making me pay this much money. And you know what I'm saying? And try to put a little dent in their pocket. Try to put their boxing budget a little bit. Just by
as a fighter, I don't think. Do you care whether you're fighting on a ring with Top Rank cameras or ESPN cameras pointing at you or Fox camera? It's all the same shit, right? It's a boxing ring, and you're getting. If people are going crazy on purse bids for you, you're making more money.
It depends. I mean, if I'm fighting on the prelims, it matters. If I'm fighting on FS1 compared to Fox, it matters. If I'm fighting on Showtime or Fox, it matters. You know what I mean? Like if I'm fighting on ESPN Plus or ESPN, it matters. If I'm fighting on ESPN2 or ESPN, it matters. Like that, there is a degree where that I think fighters do care about that. Absolutely.
But I mean, regarding purse bid, if people are fighting over you and you'll get the highest bidder wins, you're getting the most money, right? So
it's weird because I mean, I think everyone's different, right? Because there has been times where people have just I don't want the position anymore. I don't want the belt anymore, and they lose the purse bid, right? They don't win it, so they're like, "Fuck, you can take it. We're not going to follow through with it."
Yeah,
you do get that occasionally. That happens. So
Beterbiev was rumored to like, no, I'm not going to. I know that was maybe not monetary reasons, but he was going to be like not doing it. I know you got your feelings on it, but
no, you're right about that. So I mean, it does happen.
Lost a bid. Well, I don't want my belt then. So
I think if they're just thinking about money, then they probably don't care. Because it's just upping their value regardless.
And Gary, I don't think it's like eBay. You can't come in with a pound over 1 million and £2.
But I will say this: you can be not aligned with any fighter that's involved with the purse bid and bid on it.
Yeah.
So like, if you want to open up a promotional company, Gary, and go bid on fights, you can absolutely do that.
You got to get a promoter's license, though, right?
Absolutely.
I would question why you're not putting more money into the Mixed Combat Radio if you're able to go and bid on these fights. But
you know what?
I don't have to win it, Rob. I can go bid $5.
All right.
And some of these low weight fights might win, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Hickey Butler couldn't fight off a $30,000 purse bid. Let's be honest.
If they hadn't agreed it, you could have got Otto Wallin versus Lucas Brown.
Talking about the fighters want to fight on the main card as opposed to the FS1 card or ESPN as opposed to ESPN Plus. Do you think that Joey Spencer would have preferred to fight on FS2, so no one would have seen how bad he is.
I prefer to never see Joey Spencer fight again. I don't.
You are way too harsh.
That is really harsh. I apologize.
You're like, he didn't knock someone out. So like, get the fuck off my team.
Oh man, no, he's been boring forever.
One knockout in 18 fights. Now this guy's it. This guy's it.
Hey, Rob, you know me. There's a lot of fighters that I like that don't have knockouts. That doesn't matter to me. Most of the fighters I like don't have knockouts. I would say like all the prospects, like Shakur Stevenson, Chris Colbert, like those are probably my two prospects that I favor the most. They're not knockout artists at all.
And Tanahara too.
Yeah, you could win a bid for one of his fights.
Shout out to Santiago with a super chat saying, shout out to MCR and the panel for the new presentation on the stream. Thank you, Santiago. Trying out things, you know, it's like a new haircut. I just try out things. That's why I moved the studio around too, because you just got a new environment, you know, just got new scenery. Shout out to MCR and the new panel for the new look. Busy this week, helping my best friend move into a new apartment, but both of us tuned in and listened or worked on the move. Well, thank you, Santiago. Always making your friends listen to me. Always appreciate
that. Matt's gonna say thank you, Santiago, along the bottom of the screen now.
Hold on. Rob, you can't just, it's not immediate like that, okay? Hold on.
I thought I said out via the production type earpiece.
Yeah.
go to ticker message, the ticker screen. Look, watch. Santi, stay tuned. It's coming.
Right here.
Look at that. Thank you, Santiago. Look at that.
Look at that. Look at that.
Is there any one typeface?
What?
Is there any one like typeface, like style of lettering?
I don't know. Are you speaking English? Gary, do you understand what Rob's saying? What's typeface? Is that like the symbol shit that you can write on the keyboard?
No, like types of letter.
You mean like font? You mean like font?
Yeah, we call it a typeface as well.
Okay.
I'm gonna
hey, I'm not saying
I just literally made that.
I just didn't know that, Rob. Talking about like different style, like Times New Roman and like
yeah, he calls it a typeface.
A typeface is the overall design of lettering. The design can include variations such as extra bold, regular, light, italic, condensed, extended.
Oh, that's different than font. Okay. No,
these variations of the typeface is a font.
Oh, it is also a font. Interesting.
Yeah.
This
wow.
I will get you to learn English.
In the UK, they call font typeface and eat food with no taste.
That's called a bar, Gary.
And it's not. That is not called
a rhyme.
We call it a pub. We call it a pub, not a bar.
Anyways,
Major
dad joke. You find me Matt Hunter MCR on all social media platforms. Hope you guys like the show. Hit the like button, share the show, and subscribe. Gary,
make it say.
Remember tomorrow, if you have the zone, make sure to check out the Golden Boy card. Check out Gregory Morales from San Antonio, undefeated junior featherweight. I've never called it junior featherweight before in my life. Super bantamweight. I don't know why I just did that. But okay. Good show today, guys. From Texas to the world. Thank you. God bless.
Make it say thank you for tuning in while I do my outro.
Okay.
And then peace. Yeah. UK Rob, Instagram and Twitter. Although Matt's made my name disappear, but I told him to, so it's all good. But yeah, good show. Like loads of topics still, but probably by the look at that. Thank you for tuning in. Peace. Yeah, by the time we get around to talk about it, it probably would have evolved and changed and isn't anything to report on. But you know, we'll try and keep you up to date with what's going on if you're not able to be looking on Twitter like I am most of my awake life. Just to see what news is out there. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Catch you on the next one.
Peace.
It says peace.